he enters her womb, and he does not defile her because she still remains a virgin. These are virginal births. They can happen from many ways. They can bring out light, they can bring out darkness. It depends on the time and everything that was constructed. So he goes tell her about her fruit, which is that cherry that covers. And this thing, once it's tampered with, will bring such a wisdom. It will make your husband a god, because he will now be able to have the ability to create. She was not alerted of that. If you notice, Lillian knew she had a womb. Lillian knew she was meant to procreate. Eve didn't know that. So, when he allows her to get this experience of understanding her fruit, what the fruit was, giving her enlightenment, she goes and runs to Adam. And now, if you notice, she does not find herself naked yet. So she is still pure. She still has her fruit. She just knows what it is. It's never been tampered with. Angels do not have to physically insert to have children unless they're in a physical human form. If you ever know what these divine beings are, and that's a whole nother segment. So when Satan comes, well, Lucifer, because we're not even going to use the term Satan because we're going to start breaking down these words. But Lucifer gives her that enlightenment. She goes to Adam, I have this fruit. This fruit will make you a god. Come and see what this fruit is. Adam enters and touches this tree of life. And from there, when the orgasm happens and his brain explodes and now all connection is open and he's alert, he's not only now doing things that are just of nature, but now he's open. When a man has an orgasm, he feels powerful. He feels ultimate. This gives him every connection. Your body does different things during sex. So with this, it happens to be that enlightenment that brought him now, oh my God, I'm conscious. I have this, and this is something that if it's around, it's shameful to just let it hang. It's a part of me. He started connecting with his dick. Then after he eludes in her and sends her that memory, because break it down like a USB cord when you're putting hardware to a drive. He's sending memory to her. That semen has DNA, and DNA is memory. So he sends these messages to her, and now she's enlightened, and she now is aware of her sexuality and her physical status, and knowing that there are parts in her body that are sensitive and heated, and so now she keeps them covered. So they go and cover themselves. Lucifer gave her a suggestion in this. Alright, now we're going to go into, because Cain gets through the bloodline after that, because there's Cain and Abel, but then there's Seth. There's another clip on it. There's another clip on it. So now we're going on to Job. That's one of the most famous stories, because this is a man who went through torment in hell to make sure he was dedicated. But when Lucifer comes to the creators and say he's only loyal because you've gave him so much, so all he does is come and say this: if he went through this, if you allowed him to have these problems, would that still be so? He never physically touched Job. Elements that came around was able to touch Job now, but Lucifer never physically touched Job. You have to understand the brain that actually this being has, the thoughts he have and the abilities he have. You have to understand your enemy and his weapons. There's a long time pattern of even great enemies being able to sit table by table with a great respect. Because once you understand who your enemy is and understand their powers, you can then bend their energy. He uses the tools of bending people's thoughts. Learn how to keep control of your thoughts. Learn how to understand your thoughts. Understand all aspects of you so you cannot be bent. Exercise the tools and weapons that your enemy has access to. And that's knowledge, which come into literature form, experiences, and every other matter. Exercise these weapons. These are your weapons. They will come, and his armies that worship him as a god are going to be the ones who will commit the violence and the things to come. There's not all of them that practice violence. There's just some that uses his enlightenment for their own higher being. So not all Luciferian practice also goes into being of a violent nature or a black spiritual nature, but is also exercised within people who just seen a light and understood what he or whoever the suggestee that was sent was saying. But you must understand that those come with sacrifices, because you will now revere him as your God when you were created to be one. You are the exact thing that created you. So if you call it God, what are you? When you learn how to find the God within yourself, you will now be able to understand that no matter what enlightenment you receive, you can know how to use it within yourself and know who is the true worship. When you know how to love yourself in every aspect, the Greeks use 4 different aspects, and even in every aspect there's one that talks about a friendship. Friendship is seeing the same thing that you love about yourself in somebody else. So it's seeing that true love of yourself. When you experience that intimacy and longing type of love, you have to learn to long for yourself and need for yourself and thrive for yourself and hunger for yourself. When you have the one of that within family, they have a love for family. It's a love that basically of seeing what you see within your family as a unit, as a one, knowing and understanding everything as a one within yourself. And then you have the other type of love where it's a love that happens for those that